At High Point, outside the tiny burg Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, it sees its population exponentially explode once each year when the National Motocross Series comes to Village. And as the outdoor motocross season truly began with the swing back east, Eli Tomac won his second Moto of the year, leading nearly wire to wire in a lightning-shortened final Moto. But behind Eli, the first Moto winner, series points leader, an annoying little brother that steals all your toys, Jet Lawrence, stole away the overall victory from his put-upon big brother Hunter. With yet another 2-2 score, Hunter looked like a lock late in the race. But then Jet made a quick move on the defenseless Aaron Plessinger, took third in the Moto, and again stood center stage. If not for that little shit Jet, Hunter's accomplishments in less than 2 years of premier class outdoor racing would stand out among the best ever. Lest we forget, they still do. All-timers Ricky Carmichael and Ryan Dungey finished first in their respective rookie seasons, whilst Hunter finished second, as he so often has, and so often to little brother. In 15 450 Nationals, Lawrence has finished second overall 7 times and second in a Moto 12 times. And while that might be his best finish yet, his worst is a 5th, only twice, both times this year. All told, he stood on the box at the end of the day 11 times out of 15 and has scored 20 podiums in 30 Motos. The Southwick National Motocross, also known as Motocross 338, has been part of the AMA circuit since 1976, making it one of the longest running events in the sport, and has hosted 43 nationals since, the 4th most in the sport's history. Carved out of the woods of Massachusetts by American Legion 338 members and fathers of New England Sports Committee racers, the track's sandy surface and challenging layout have earned it the nickname, the most famous sandbox in American motocross. At that 1976 race, there was a sand specialist, Dutchman Pierre Carmichael, with the visiting 500cc GP rider winning both motos that June day while at the controls of his factory RC250 Honda. Not surprisingly, Carmichael jailed with the track as soon as he set wheels in the sand. Everyone knew that the rider from Holland was going to be the guy to beat. Despite Bob Hanna, defending champion Tony DiStefano, Brad Lackey, Kent Howerton, Danny Laporte, Rick Burgett, and many other elite racers among those in the 43 rider field. Carmichael did have his hands full during the first national moto ever held on the Southwick track. Lackey, Hanna, Stefano, and Howerton all gave Carmichael a run for his money in the 40-minute plus 2-lap moto. But in the end, Carmichael outran them all, taking the win over Lackey and Hanna. Moto 2 was much simpler for Carmichael. He passed early leader Rich Ironstadt, then rode off into the sunset, going down on record as the first person to win the Southwick National. It was also Carsmaker's last AMA motocross win of his career. 15 years later, in 1992, the then winningest racer at Southwick, Jeff Stanton, would also win the final national of his career, his fourth win at the Wick.
Let's go to Southwick, Massachusetts for the second round of the 250 class. Jeff Ward talking about the track.
Yeah, well, this track's fast, and it's got a lot of big holes, and sand, we don't race too much sand in the circuit, so when they come here, it can bite you real quick, and it does. It's done me in the past, but I've been here enough to where I know where the danger parts are and where to be careful. So for somebody that's been here one time, it takes its toll on you.
We'll pick up the action in Moto number 2. The first Moto was won in a landslide by Damon Bradshaw. He got out front, waved goodbye. By 30 seconds, Jeff Stanton finished second after starting in the middle of the pack. Mike Kudrowski was third, and you have a quick look at Stanton there. Rider number 2, again, he's in the middle of the pack. Yamaha's Doug Tomac leads it. His teammate, the rider that won Moto number 1, Bradshaw, was running somewhere around mid-pack. Watch this. Now, you're not going to see Damon Bradshaw. You're only going to see a lot of bikes. You're going to see some people stepping off, a lot of sand being thrown. Bradshaw got caught up in that mess, and he was well off the pace. He would have to begin his charge to the front from the rear. Doug Tomac, meanwhile, letting it all hang out, being chased by Jean-micheal. And Tomac was really on the gas, doing what he could do to hold Jean-micheal at bay. The Frenchman Jean-micheal has his hands full with Mike Kudrowski, the Kawasaki rider from Acton, California. Kudrowski takes the measure of Bale to move into the number 1 position with Bale right behind. Don't forget, Stanton is still charging through the pack. He's coming from the mid-pack position, while Bradshaw had dropped all the way back to the rear end of the pack. He too is charging. Out front, though, it's rider number 3. Mike Kudrowski, then Jean-micheal, and there's a quick look at Stanton, who has now worked his way to the rear wheel of Jean-micheal. Stanton is in third. So there's the running order, Kudrowski, Bale, and Stanton. For the 2 bikes in red, it's a replay of 1 week ago at Gainesville. Only difference now is Mike Kudrowski has thrown his name into the hat, and he is out front, leading the pair of Honda riders. Jeff Stanton stalks Kudrowski, studying every move that Kudrowski makes. When Stanton thinks the time is right, zap, he's going to make some kind of a move and try to get around the Acton, California-based Kawasaki rider. Meanwhile, Mike Kudrowski showing the short way around the racetrack to Jeff Stanton, and that pair of riders has left Jean-micheal and the rest of the field quite a way off the pace. Let's watch a few of the techniques employed by this pair of riders. Kudrowski bobbled right there. Jeff Stanton slid by, got to the inside, and he made the pass. Kudrowski is charging right back, looking for some kind of running room, and he is not going to get it. Had an opportunity there. He could have given Stanton a little bit of a nudge and chose not to do it. So, winning the last moto and the overall for the day was Jeff Stanton, Mike Kudrowski.
Southwick is known for producing several of the sport's best local motocross talents, like JoJo Keller, Keith Johnson, Mike Treadwell, Tony LaRusso, and of course, eventual superstars Doug Henry and John Dowd. In the 90s, the latter 2 NESC regulars had ascended to the top of the national circuit, with Dowd and Henry both having earned factory rides, and each would return to Southwick and claim victories in the sand. The ageless junkyard dog himself, John Dowd, won his hometown race twice. First in 1997 in the 250 class, as the other hometown hero, Doug Henry, looked on with both arms in casts after breaking his wrist when his prototype 4-stroke YZ400 flamed out on the face of an uphill double.
Welcome back to the 25th anniversary here in Southwick, Massachusetts for AMA Motocross round number 6. Homecoming of sorts for several people. John Dowd, for one, comes back home. Mike Larocco and points leader Jeff Emig. One not in the field is Doug Henry after breaking both arms at Budds Creek.
I just got out of the hospital. I wasn't supposed to, but I got out Friday. They did surgery on me Friday morning, and they said, yeah, I guess you can leave tonight. And my wife and I drove back and said, oh, I think I'll come to the race. You know, I came later on. I didn't come for practice or qualifying or anything like that. Just came out for the races.
You can see it coming down. The sign is sideways. The gate's going to fall. The good news is everyone's already got a mud tire, because that's the kind of tires you use in the sand.
Okay, Moto number 1 underway. Who's going to get that hole shot? Ryan Hughes in good position. Oh, we're going to pile up there in the first corner. Buddy Antonez got popped from behind. This guy, John Dowd, number 14, Team Yamaha. He dedicated this race to his teammate Doug Henry before they took off. Ezra Lusk and Ryan Hughes right there. Number 14, John Dowd out in front. Well, he's got this whole crowd behind him here in Southwick, Massachusetts. He's from Chicopee. He's been riding well lately in the 250 class. You can hear the crowd this early in the race. Guess who they're for? And, of course, Doug Henry looking on from the side. But if he's going to choose a spot to win his first moto, this is it right here. Checkered flag is out and ready for John Dowd here in Moto number 1.
Me and JD here want to dedicate this one to Doug. You know, he was a big support out there. He was around the whole track up here. Here he is here. Both hats on his arm. He was running around the track swinging them like a windmill.
Here's Arena Cross champion. Look at number 6, way to the outside, Dave.
That's not a bad strategy.
See how Larry Ward can take advantage of it.
Lusk was out there with him. Big moment.
John Dowd, our leader once again here in Moto number 2.
This time McGrath, much better start. Right there he can check out John Dowd. Look at that rain. Big drop starting to come down, but now McGrath, who was way out of contention in the first moto with his crash, now he can see what Dowd is doing. The fastest guy on the track, following him around a little bit, learn something and gain some of those points back he lost on Emick the first moto.
Really wild. It didn't seem to rain at all until they dropped the gate.
It just blows by Jeremy on that downhill.
Our leader, John Dowd, number 14. It was rumored that Team Yamaha came to Dowdy with the idea of riding the 4-stroke next year. The 4-stroke experiment that Doug Henry is going through this season. And the rumor is that Dowdy turned him down. So it'll be interesting to see how this all comes about for next year in Team Yamaha after a very successful season, both in Supercross and Motocross.
If there were a lot more 4-strokes out there, I'd say, okay, I'll do it. But if you're the only guy, forget it. You know, because it's hard to say if he'd be able to get the whole shot and ride the way he's ridden today with that extra weight on this rough track and do what he's done. I just don't know if it's possible. Henry has certainly had some success, but here today it's a whole different thing.
Got to be a rainbow somewhere on this course. I mean, they went through rain on the other end of it. Now they got sunshine here on the top end as they go down into the intersections of this track.
Pretty cool that Dowd dedicated this race beforehand. It's easy to win this thing and then say, well, I dedicate this, but he did it first. And then to go out and win both motos, well, that's really a statement. That's got to make him and Doug real happy.
Everybody likes him. He takes the checkers for the second time in a row here this afternoon.
Henry would get his redemption the following year, 1998, adding a 250 class win to his wins at the Wick in 93 and 94 in the Tiddler division. Dowd, who'd been dropped down to the 125 class by Yamaha, again won a Southwick National that same year. While the first one was memorable as a wild crowd pleaser, the second was probably more special in that he beat Ricky Carmichael straight up in the second moto, after winning the first as the GOAT's bike expired in the Southwick sand. Carmichael was the most successful racer the Southwick track has ever seen. In the 2000s, Carmichael won 8 straight Premier Class races at the Sandbox, with a grand total of 10 wins, including his 2 in the 125 class, 6 more than anyone else. RC doubled Stanton's total win tally at the Wick, his final victory there coming in his abbreviated final outdoor campaign in 2007. Carmichael battled from behind to take the lead from James Stewart in the first moto, before leading the second wire to wire. With an unfortunate cameo from my old young friend, and current NBC commentator Jason Thomas.
Southwick never had a problem being tough, and Ricky Carmichael has never had a problem with Southwick. A perfect 7 for 7 in Motocross 338. Carmichael is back for one last try. Carmichael, with his 72nd AMA Motocross class victory, now sits atop the leaderboard with 146 combined career wins. The Sands of Southwick wait for the GOAT and company once again. Beautiful Southwick, Massachusetts, the site for the AMA Toyota Motocross Championship presented by FMF. Round 3, the Moto T Southwick Motocross National. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside multi-time National Motocross Champion Jeff Emig, and Aaron Bates is here with us as well. Sand is a story of racing here at Motocross 338. Now earlier today, Jeff, adding to the trouble, a little bit of rain.
And you see that they covered up the starting area though, but rain makes this track good, makes it rough. Incredibly demanding race course here in Massachusetts.
And Ricky Carmichael, the GOAT, greatest of all time, getting ready to see if he can keep that unbeaten streak here at Southwick. What an impressive stat that would be. The man who might be able to stop the streak, none other than the reigning Supercross Series champion, James Stewart.
See Carmichael on the line here, he's got a grin on his face. Him and his mechanic Mike Gosler obviously happy about coming into this event. You look at James Stewart, look at those eyes, very serious.
And now they're getting ready to battle here today. See the sandy nightmare that Southwick is. What a great shot from Jason Thomas as everybody scrambled for position, and James Stewart is the first one into the clean air. Tim Ferry right behind him, Stewart's teammate, and Carmichael sits in third.
And you can see how James Stewart is rocketed out into the lead. Oh, and a rider goes down.
Thomas right over the bike, and down goes Thomas.
Unbelievable action here. Thomas, you see him, looks like he's going to get back on the bike. That was an ugly one. No problem for the number 7 of James Stewart, though. He has came out here with a vengeance. He has something to prove today, Ralph. Last race at Mount Morris, Carmichael beat him straight up both motos. He's looking to come back and take some wins and some points away.
Carmichael working the inside of Ferry, and the Kawasaki rider loses a position as Carmichael now moves to second.
Wow, look how rough the track is. This is only the first lap right now.
Well, the problem for James Stewart is now the fact that Ricky Carmichael is closing in on the Makita Suzuki. The two factory riders getting set for another great battle here at Southwick. Boy, I just love watching these two when they get together, because you just know they both want to win so bad, and they have so much respect for each other that they're just going to throw everything they have in their arsenal at each other, and you're about to see another great one here today.
And the crowd responds. They love watching these two guys ride for just those reasons you said. Here today at Southwick, fireworks already going off in the first moto. Carmichael looks pretty comfortable at this point. But Stewart really seems to be guarding the inside lines, and I mean tight. Typically here at Southwick, you carry a lot of momentum on the outside, use them wide lines, but Stewart really hugging it tight as they get through some of these lapped riders. See right there, you see James Stewart actually hit the rear brake to really stay tight and almost square that turn up, and that's not the way to ride Southwick.
Yeah, but look at this. Carmichael is right there. Carmichael takes the lead away from Stewart, but James tries to counterattack.
Boy, it's so evident when one bike and one rider are dialed in, and right now it looks like Stewart, as Carmichael gets past him, and he's just not comfortable. See him just bouncing all around, just not having that Southwick flow that I was talking about. It is painful to have to battle at the very top level of our sport when your flow is off like that. But this thing is anything but a freeway. This place is rough and nasty.
I don't know. I've been on a couple of highways that looked a little bit like this at times.
Going through Pennsylvania, maybe.
Yeah. Makes you wonder where your tax dollars are going, right? Ricky Carmichael knows exactly where this road leads. It's leading right to the checkered flag for now.
And to plenty of dollars along with it. It's like the number 4 biker, Ricky Carmichael, definitely as prepared as as confident as what he's ever been, and he is showing it here in the first moto.
He's halfway home to completing his winning streak of staying unbeaten here at Southwick. 7 for 7 coming in as you look from our Honda aerial cam.
I mean, in the history of motocross, and then you're talking about a rider, and then you're saying, oh, he's unbeaten here. Ricky's had 2 perfect seasons. I mean, that's just mind-boggling that he has been that good in his career. I mean, you look back to all the greatest racers and all of the legends and favorite riders that we've had. Nobody's ever come close to that.
That's why they call him the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Ricky Carmichael waving to the crowd and celebrating on this final lap.
I mean, he's just riding around waving to the crowd, kind of looking back, taking it easy. Who gets to do that at Southwick? I never got to do that.
Ricky Carmichael. Look at that. I mean, it's like a victory lap. That's how big the gap is from first to second. Very comfortable. Here's Carmichael. Here comes David Villeman.
Villeman's going to have to take an extra lap now. I'm sure he didn't want to do that.
He might let him back by before they're done.
He
did. Checkered flag for Ricky Carmichael. He'll win Moto number 1, and David Villeman can pull right on.
Carmichael wasting no time that first Moto RC. Started about 6 seconds behind and ended up 6 seconds ahead. That was quite the race out there. Were you expecting a battle or no battle out there whatsoever?
No, I knew he was going to be good, and I couldn't really get by him, so I just waited, and then a lapper got my way. I mean, they were getting both of our way, and capitalized on it, messed him up a little bit and got by him, and the rest was history.
4 years later, Ricky's eventual successor at Suzuki, Ryan Dungey, the defending 450 champion, won the first moto convincingly, and then was forced to put together a remarkable comeback ride after missing the start of his second race, all the while with a hurricane encroaching on the track.
Dungey takes the first moto win, so all the luck is shining on the number 1 until they can't get his bike running for the second moto. Apparently they had a problem at the end of Moto 1. They got the bike to the finish, swapped the engine out, but couldn't do it in time. The gate dropped without Dungey. There's Dungey walking around back there. Then Justin Varsho had a terrible gate pick because of the bad finish in Moto 1. Somehow grabs the whole shot. There is Reed on the number 22, down in the first turn. Dungey joins the race late and miraculously starting the race 3/4 of the lap down with rally to finish 7th. Reed, meanwhile, ran into trouble with his bike again, so he finishes neither moto today. Justin Varsho wins the moto. And through all that, Ryan Villopoto extends his points lead, and Brett Metcalf wins the overall. Can you keep track of all that?
2013 was the year when many MX fans in the Northeast thought they'd seen the last Southwick National ever. Luckily, in 2015, MX Sports needed to fill a slot in the schedule, and a call was made to the Johnson family that now run the racetrack. Keith and his dad, Rick, jumped at the chance to bring a national back to Southwick. The track has been restored to its original layout, with some iconic jumps and turns being rebuilt. Since 2016, Eli Tomac has been the crowd favorite. Tomac has won outright at Southwick 3 times overall, with 1-1 scores, and another 2 motos besides in his 6 previous visits to the Wick.
Southwick National Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, the rough sand track at Southwick. Eli Tomac, number 3. Monster Energy Kawasaki has caught your leader. Brand Mechanics area.
Yes, the atmosphere down here is unbelievable right now. The Fran Mechanics area, all the team members are going crazy.
Friend of motocross because they don't have windshield wipers, you can't clear it. So you have to use tear-offs. The problem is, you use all your tear-offs and eventually you can't see. Tomac at the bottom, you saw Tomac's last lap time was in the 9s, whereas Roczen was in the 10s. So,
to respond each time.
Yeah, and maybe some of the changes they did make made a difference. Because in the first moto, it looked to me like...
I don't know if there's room for Tomac to make it happen here, but he's certainly putting the heat on. Gonna switch to the left again. Everywhere Roczen
championship. Tomac, we know he's number 3, but from the front, there's no number visible. Yeah, come on by. They're trying to stay out of the way, not sure which way to go.
I think those guys are exhausted. Mike 5th, Nicoletti 6th.
Watch this.
Oh, big run around the outside. Long way around for Tomac. He's got the drive, and he's going to be
the crowd are going crazy here in Southwick, Massachusetts.
So Tomac able to take the lead. He held more your insurance if you call Geico. If you want to call him, though, I'd advise you to keep your eyes on the TV screen because this battle is great. To Southwick, we actually have a... Whoa, Tomac has gone down just like that, and Ken Roczen has taken the lead.
Once again, Tomac to the inside, takes the lead.
Roczen squares it up. Roczen's going to try to beat him to the exit. No. Now allow Roczen to get it back, but only for a few corners. Tomac had a little something extra and was immediately able to respond. Much vision, where the tear-off gives you the complete goggle clear, the roll-up. Now Tomac's got a few more lap riders to get through. He does it! Eli Tomac wins the Red Bull Southwick Moto 2. It wasn't enough. Tomac is finally on the board. It's the legendary sand track and round 7 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship for 2017. Second, 30th place at that point. Now Baggett in the lead, quickly caught by Eli Tomac, who wasted no time, passing about 4 riders to get to this position and then grab the lead from Baggett and pull away. Tomac is just a monster on a sand track like this.
Yeah, he wasted no time, went after Baggett early, quickly got clear vision, and then just maintained a great pace out front.
Here's the pass for the lead. Marvin Musquin did everything he could to hold off Eli Tomac. They were exchanging mistakes because they were pushing so hard.
Oh, then right here, around the outside, Tomac just unbelievable pace. His corner speed was phenomenal. Marvin went after him. He didn't give up. He kept fighting. But eventually, watch this. A huge get off from Marvin Musquin. Gets cross-rutted and then launches off the track.
Finish, and that was a scary moment as well. And from there, Tomac was free to set sail. Looks like an instant replay of what we had in the first. And Sexton has arrived. He's there to challenge Roczen.
Well, and we've talked about the stats and just how good Eli's stats are here at this track comparative to Chase Sexton. So Chase Sexton's in a great spot championship-wise. I feel like if he can get through this race, Southwick in a relatively good spot, points-related, he's going to be great position for the rest of this Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship.
And occasionally, you're seeing the Yamaha of Tomac lurking in the shot. He was 6.8 seconds off the lead 2 laps ago. Now Tomac, see the red jersey? He's 1.8 seconds back. Hit up 5 seconds in 2 laps. Tomac has caught Chase Sexton, so we have the battle between the 2 series leaders that we wanted to see. But remember how much ground Tomac has made up. 4, 5, 6 seconds over the course of the last couple of laps, and he's already there. So the pace is no doubt quicker than the riders in front of him. Tomac setting himself up for the inside. Very, very rough through here. Can he handle that rough terrain and make the pass? I believe he has. Can Sexton respond? Eli Tomac has taken the spot. Tomac stalking Craig, sets himself up. He's going to have the inside at the end of the straightaway. He doesn't even need to get there. He leaps into the lead. Unbelievable charge, 8th to 1st for Tomac.
Within a lap and a half, he goes by Chase Sexton, Ken Roczen, now Christian Craig.
And this is part of the legend of Eli Tomac. The fans call it beast mode. He had had so much success, 3 titles on the Kawasaki. This was an eyebrow-raising move when it was announced that Tomac would move to Yamaha this year. All he has done is gone out and won the Monster Energy Supercross title, and he is en route now to a Moto win at Southwick and further closing on the points lead here in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. 8th to 1st, Eli Tomac crosses the Lucas Oil finish line and wins the Moto at Southwick.
Tomac wins. He's won every Moto that he's led laps. It's 7 for 7. He just doesn't give up leads. You know, when he gets into the lead, rarely does anybody pass him back.
Oh, there's no doubt. When he gets that beast mode, we haven't seen many people able to fight back, even some of the best of the best. But boy, does he ever have the momentum on his side, aiming for 5 straight Moto wins. The man who is 3rd all time in overall wins in this class behind you, and Ryan Dungey just keeps adding to his total. 3 straight overall wins, 5 motos in a row, en route for the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing Man. And he's embraced by the fans as Eli Tomac goes 1-1 at Southwick. And in what could be his final visit to this track, he leaves on top.
And then there's Jet Lawrence, who's won 3 out of 4 motos and the last 2 overalls.
So Jet Lawrence jetting away, and the gap 2.5 seconds over Sexton.
I hate it to lose more than I love to win, and I think any athlete has to feel that way, and Jason, I think this guy does.
He has not felt that way yet so far this year. Jet Lawrence dominates the first moto at Southwick. He's halfway to a perfect season, 11 starts, 11 wins, and a great performance at Southwick, and this is it. Into the second half of the year, still undefeated. Jet Lawrence 1-1 at Southwick. And that's how you do it. That Hunter and Jet with the good starts. They've been incredible in motocross on those Hondas. And Jet Lawrence in the lead. Hunter right behind him, and it's Sexton there as well. Jet Lawrence closing in on 4 straight moto wins, a championship rebuild, and a big moto win at Southwick.
Big pile up on the inside.
And no change up front. Hunter and Jet Lawrence, great starts. Again, it's Jet out front. It's like darn clockwork with these two.
Yeah, you can tell Hunter's on a mission now.
Okay, it's going to be a big battle at least for second. Or can they keep Jet in sight? Well, this has changed in a hurry.
Of course, he's in the lead, leading the race, so he has to have a certain amount of speed, right? But he's definitely managing things more than he was in the first moto as Hunter Lawrence makes the pass.
Yeah, maybe not aggressive enough. Hunter to the inside, and he's got his brother.
Yeah, but I take that back, Chase. Hunter's just sending it down that straightaway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought you were laying up. Hunter's just laying on the gas, so strong move. Now let's see what happens.
As the series swings even farther and further back into the Northeast, to the hallowed ground of Motocross 338, the echoes of yesteryear fade, and today's task at hand will come into sharper focus. Southwick last season will be the last race for the defending champion. Though both lingering and more recent injuries would force him out before Redbud, Jet of course nonetheless won. Banged up this season, Chase Sexton would split moto wins with Lawrence to take second. And Hunter, 2-3 for third. Going into this year's race, little brother remains on top. And the older sibling is not only due, but overdue. Time to make it happen, big brother. But this year, Eli Tomac will be on the gate, returning for the first time since either Lawrence moved into the class. And it might be his best chance at beating the brothers outright. Meanwhile, to paraphrase an old axiom, men make plans and Jet Lawrence laughs.